women's 100 there featuring Sha'Carri Richardson, who was runner-up to Javian Oliver. They both ran 11:19 into a minus 1.0. Candace Hill was third, English Garner fourth, Brandon Williams fifth, Desiree Bryant sixth. So I guess my question to you is, after Pre, she said only place up from ninth is up. We saw what she did in the 200 in Brussels. This result, where she essentially ties, runs even with Oliver, who made the U.S. team this year, do you think this qualifies as a step up from what we saw in Brussels when she finished fourth in that 200?
No. I mean, this is an 11.11 if it had no wind. It's not. It's 11.11 with zero wind. She ran 11:19, but 11. The only reason her places are going up is because the field is going down. Like the field competition is.
Oliver's solid though. Oliver made the team. Like she's been solid.
She lost. Again, she lost to her.
Yeah.
But like my main thing is like, right now she's still running ninth place quality race runs, in my opinion. Like following up her 11:14 ninth with an 11:19, which is really an 11:11, and her 20.4 or 5 in 22.4 or 5 in the 200. She's the same as she was at Pre, in my opinion. She hasn't really improved. Have you thought? I mean, it's been like more low key. Like it's not as because there's It's kind of like, oh, it's happening in a smaller meet in Europe, and like people are kind of stepping off the gas of Sha'Carri is going to dominate, and people are kind of letting her just kind of jog throughout the rest of the season. But she's not in the Sha'Carri of running a 10.7 consistently or 10.8. She is still that Sha'Carri that got ninth, in my opinion.
I think it's a little bit step forward. I know the time was not fast, but there's more to it than the wind, right? The weather, the conditions, all the other parts factor in. I just think she held it together through the race, at least, right? Like at Pre, I think what you're saying is basically she could have run equivalent performance at Pre if she pushed all the way through and finished it, right? Then so this isn't showing us anything else. But I think the fact that she's at least coming out with a solid effort is something, and Oliver's a solid runner. But you're right from the perspective of this is not June Richardson, this is not May Richardson, this is not April Richardson. This is a different athlete. But the weird setup with the season and her having the suspension and coming back obviously has impacted her greatly. But yeah, I guess it's not the okay, boom, 100% she's back. But see, I don't think, as I mentioned last time, I don't think we're going to get that until there's a complete reset on the year.
Yeah.
Because I think the trajectory is set at this point, and we know kind of where the ceiling is at this point. It's just hard to reverse course this late in a season in a year with this many things going on. So I think we'll see it. So I guess it's positive in terms of, hey, she's still competitive. She's running the same time as one of the other best women in the year, or in her country, excuse me. The problem is, again, the Fraser Prices and the Thompson Haras of the world are doing 10.7s, 10.6s, 10.5s frequently, so it makes it tough. She did get an endorsement from Usain Bolt, which I think is cool.
Usain Bolt said, "I like her energy. She brings spice to track and field."
Yeah, and I mean,
where did he say this? Is this the full quote?
Yeah. It says she does get people talking about track and field. So for me, that's something I personally feel is good for the sport, because track and field is not the biggest sport in the world that people actually go, you know what? Let's go watch track and field. That's a good quote by Bolt. You know what? Let's go watch track and field. We should make shirts with that on it. If Lincoln was still here, he'd have a shirt made up like by Wednesday with that quote on it. So for me, this is Bolt again. If they're talking about it basically because she's high energy and vibes, then for me, I'm okay with it. I think he sums it up pretty well there.
I like his kind of little bit of like, callback to her not doping ban, her marijuana ban. because she's high energy and vibes. So high energy and high vibes. Got.
I think you may be looking a little too much into it, but your vibes are good.
Yes.
Vibes are positive. Yeah, I mean, and obviously Bolt would know. Bolt was not nearly as polarizing. In fact, I feel like Bolt had near 100% approval rating because the way he approached the sport was obviously different, and he never really showed any vulnerabilities at all. So he just kept winning and winning and winning and winning, save for a few times in his career. But in terms of getting eyeballs on the track, or as Bolt would say, getting people to say, you know what, let's go watch track and field, they do have that part in common.